Is Ghostwire Tokyo worth our time? We're about to find out. Welcome everyone to episode 219 of 1 Hour, 1 Decision, 1H1D. I am Chris.
And I am Tom.
And we take 60 minutes and play a random game on Xbox Game Pass and decide, well, Tom, are ghosts creepier in Japan?
They're called yokai over there.
Oh, well,
better
I
watch
apologize.
out.
I apologize. Don't want one of them coming after me. But we are talking about Ghostwire Tokyo, developed by, I guess, in limbo, maybe? Studio Tango Gameworks, because they were a Microsoft/Bethesda studio, and then they were unceremoniously closed, shuttered. But then apparently some other publisher came in and swooped them up and took their IP. So this might come back. I don't know. But it was developed by Tango Gameworks. And I know that this game came out in March of 2022 on the PS5 and PC, and then to the Xbox consoles on April of 2023.
Yes,
but I didn't
timed exclusive.
Oh, yeah. Those lovely timed exclusives. And it was in that weird time because that's like around the time that Microsoft acquired Bethesda.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was like projects and stuff like that they were dealing with, between each of these studios or big console pals over there. But I play this on the PC because PC's the best. Anyway, 22.18 gigabytes on the PC. Tom, what about you?
Well, I guess it was better, at least in the size department, because on the Xbox Series S, it is bigger. It is 25.85 gigabytes.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe that's why they gave them the boot. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I miss them. I miss Hi-Fi Rush. Anyway, what kind of game is this?
I put first-person action, and then I was like, but like more than that, I put mystery in quotation marks.
Yeah.
Horror? I don't know.
I guess. I put first-person ghost shooter.
Yeah. I put action because I guess it's not really a shooter, but it is.
Yeah. You shoot with your finger guns.
Yeah. Pew, pew.
Yeah, well, I guess we could talk about that. In our game loop, what is the game loop?
Okay, this is a little spoilery, I think. In terms, not in terms of the plot, but in terms of I think where my mind is going, and you're gonna see this, listeners.
Okay.
I wrote experience a story through cutscenes and navigating Shibuya from a first-person perspective.
Okay. I put shoot things to progress the story and your character.
See, yours clearly has that. This is an action game. And mine clearly has a strap yourselves in. There's going to be a lot of cutscenes.
Yeah. I mean, it is actiony. It is cutscene-y. And this is the point we talked about.
Both of those things are true.
Both those things are true. And now we need to know what is true about our likes here, Tom. So let's get into that.
Okay. So I'm going to jump around a little bit. I wrote excellent at setting tone of mystery horror.
Okay.
And it some examples of that, like the controller vibrates when the phone rings.
Yes.
You have like cool, like fun facts about Japanese culture built in, to the in the menu systems, and then like there's a lot of like world building here, which I liked.
Yeah, I mean, it's in the name. The game takes place in Japan, in Tokyo, and I guess in a subset of Tokyo that you mentioned, Shibuya.
At least the first hour does, right?
Right.
Maybe you see more of Tokyo as the game progresses.
Right. And I agree with you there. Like you really learn a lot about the world, the city, like even the way that the everyone like their outfits and stuff like that. I was like, oh, this is like very trendy in a way. like the ghosts are pretty trendy. Everyone had those shoulder bags and stuff like that. I was like, okay, wow, this is pretty hip. This is a hip place to be a ghost. And but you also see kind of the horror elements of like Japan is really into ghosts, or as you said, yokai, right? So like they just took all those things and just smashed it together to make this game, it seems like. So hey, good on them. They got to do that.
Yeah, like I wrote that the magic effects look cool.
Yeah.
Right? There's like shield blast, there's physical strikes, you shoot, like we were saying, the pew pew.
We got the finger guns in here.
Yeah, it's a shooter, but it's one of those shooters that's not like a gun shooter.
Right. Yeah, and I guess just to kind of roll back in a little bit.
Sure.
So your character, he is rushing to go see his sister, who is in the hospital.
Yes.
And obviously they live in Tokyo, Shibuya area, and her hospital bed is there, and he's rushing to get there. And unfortunately, he gets hit by a truck. He's on a motorcycle and gets hit by a truck. And spoiler, he dies.
Yeah, I think most people would.
Yeah, I was like, I was kind of surprised he was not in a million pieces from that. So, yeah. I mean, good on him for surviving that much. But then what happens is this just mist, kind of like Stephen King's The Mist, just goes in and takes everyone out. Takes everyone out in Tokyo. And but before that happens, he gets possessed by a demon. This is just another like anime reference thing that happens a lot, where this other body, other being takes control of this body of his, but he somehow comes back to life as well. So he's not like a puppet. He still somehow controls his body, but this other guy is in there too, and they're kind of battling it out for control. And yeah, and then you're just trying to figure out what the heck is happening as you see these just ghosts pop up, and you've got to shoot them with your ghost finger guns. And I got to say, like you said, the finger guns, I thought the finger guns shooting felt pretty good, and it was cool. It kind of gave me the Naruto vibes when if you do the holding down, he does like the finger signs and stuff like that. So it was pretty cool. And then when you grab a core, which is what you can steal from the ghosts after you've damaged them enough, you shoot out these strings, and like you do this whole, like, I don't know, it's a little bit of like a hand dance, if you want to call it that. You pull them apart. It's very satisfying. It's a very cool, satisfying feeling there. So
I think it definitely looks cool.
Yeah.
It handles surprisingly well for a thing that's not, it's a shooter but not a shooter, right?
Right.
Could have gone sideways pretty easily there, right. I think. But no, it feels pretty good. I was some of the banter, right? We were talking about so you have two dual protagonists, right? Two souls in one body.
Yep.
And they talk to each other. And I thought that was pretty fun.
It can go sideways. Like there's Forspoken, which apparently was terrible dialogue with the two. But we've played games that have had dual protagonists, like Atlas Fallen and then Shadow of Mordor.
Yep.
As that as well. So, and there can be successful ones as well. And I agree. I think the banter between here helps build the world as well, because he's like, you as the protagonist and this ghostly being are like kind of, which I guess is called KK. KK is the ghostly being. Yeah. I'm forgetting the name of the main character. I think his name is Akito, but I'm probably wrong. And and so their banter isn't like grating, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
So it was informative, less grating. And I mean, this is a horror style game, and it has its scary elements. I'm glad though it is not super scary, because it's still kind of actiony, as we kind of talked about. Less the scary. There's definitely some like moments where they try to do jump scares on you and things like that, and you're like, oh god, okay, and maybe someone got a little terrified, but that's okay.
So I want to talk a little bit about so the game defaults to Japanese, right?
Yes.
And you'd have the English subtitles there. But you can play this in like lots of different languages. Like I was surprised by how many options you had in terms of the languages.
Right.
So there's kind of a lot going on. There's kind of a lot of dialogue going on. So
Right.
I ended up switching to the English dub just so I could listen and also read at the same time, which I have a hard time doing if I have to read two different things at the same time.
Yep.
But what surprised me is when I did that, I didn't immediately turn off the English subtitles. And usually if you're listening to an English dub and reading English subtitles, those things do not sync up.
Yeah.
But here I was very surprised that they were 100% matched.
Oh, wow. That's great.
So very quickly, obviously, I turned off the English, but I was like, wait, this is a 1-to-1. It's like, I guess they must have translated it into English first, created the subtitles, and then used the subtitles as the script for the dub. So thank you. I don't know why that isn't like obvious to everyone who does these sorts of things. But I appreciated the consistency greatly.
Yeah, I agree. And I will say, at least I kept it on default. I kept it on the Japanese dialogue track. And, I think they did a pretty good job voicing it. And, no one seemed to be phoning it in. I don't know how the English one was, though. Was it
surprisingly good? Yeah.
Okay.
Like I didn't regret it.
Okay. That's fair.
If it would have been bad, I definitely would have been like, okay, I'll just go back to Japanese. And I should point out that generally speaking, I do leave whatever the native language of something is. So I watch tons of anime in Japanese. But in a situation where I have to constantly intake multiple streams of information, that's where I'm like, okay, I need to offload one of these to just an audio processing so I can read the other one,
Yeah, that's fair. Or you could be like Nave and Phil from Gaming Together and just learn Japanese, which they are doing now.
I mean, that seems like a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, if that's all you're consuming, why not? And this is another game I thought that did a pretty good job of progressing the game while learning about the game.
Yes. I did not write that down, but I agree with you.
Yeah, it was good. I'm surprised you didn't write down that you could save anywhere because you can.
I did. But it's tucked into one of my other ones. But
yes. Oh, you did right there. Okay, fair enough.
You can save at any time. And thank you very much for that as well, developers.
I also like the fact that you can pet doggies and kitties.
I didn't even notice you could do that.
You can. If you wait around, especially when the dogs are being super helpful and they're like, here's some ghosts and stuff like that you can capture. You can walk up to it and pet it. And then the cats, eventually you can too. But cats per real life are temperamental. You have to feed them first before you can actually pet them. So it's like, all right, well done, developers.
The world building. They really thought about these decisions.
I don't know about you, but this game did feel like it was a game. Like it gave me early 2000 vibes. Just the way it played. It was just something about it. And the way it was designed, it felt very linear, and like in that same breath, I feel like it's a game that can be completed fairly quickly, which we'll get to in a little bit. But it doesn't feel like a very long game, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So
and it is very like narratively driven, so like that lends itself to kind of a shorter, tighter experience, I would think.
Right. So yeah, just something to keep in mind. Something that you can probably maybe beat in a weekend or so if you had that kind of time. But yeah. What else you got there, Tom?
I think that's all I've got on the positive side.
So then let's head over to those negatives.
Yeah. So even in the Japanese, the audio was not syncing with the lips, and that to me seemed bizarre.
Really?
I expect that in a dub. I do not expect that when I'm playing the native language. It was like an audio sync issue. And
that's interesting. I don't think I saw that in the Japanese version. And that's usually why I don't do English. If I know it, like the native tongue is non-English, I'm like, I'll stick to that and just deal with the subtitles because like when the audio gets off, it just it bothers me so much. So I didn't notice it at all with the Japanese. I don't know. Maybe it was some sort of,
perhaps it's a PC versus Xbox thing.
Maybe it's possible. But I will say though, I guess it's kind of a negative for me is that point that you mentioned with the dialogue, because there's so much dialogue and like I'm reading it in reading the English, I feel like I'm like taken out of the game because I'm just so focused on reading. And that's hard. That's hard. And because, and I guess I'll segue into probably one of your dislikes here. There's a lot of reading because there's a lot of cutscenes in this game.
Yep. I have 10 minutes of cutscenes.
Yeah.
Then play, then more cutscenes.
Yeah.
It honestly feels like it should all be cutscenes with the start, stop. Yeah. Like just if you need to do exposition, just do the exposition. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, I guess to be fair, there are mechanics that you're learning early, right?
Yeah.
So fine, but I agree with you. It's like I feel like every Japanese game we've played has this kind of they just love doing cutscenes, don't they? Mm-hmm. I think that's what they just love. I mean, like Yakuza coming.
This did remind me of that for sure.
Right. Yeah,
of playing that Yakuza game, and the Yakuza game did a good job with the world building and like vending machines full of the sodas and the coffees and things like that. It did give me that similar kind of vibes for sure. But geez, okay, so I know I'm harping here, but like. And I mentioned it in my likes, which is probably not the right place for it, but like the juggling between reading the dialogue and doing the tutorial is what drove me to switch to English. Like you said, it's a lot of reading, and I'm reading two different things.
Yeah, right. You're learning game mechanics and then the dialogue, like the story stuff. Right. Yeah, I agree. That's a challenge for sure. And I'm double checking before I mention this, but I'm surprised you didn't mention this. Is there was quite a few pop-ups for me. Like in the beginning of the game, when I first launched the game, there was a pop-up saying like, "Oh, you have this like DLC is unlocked." I was like, "Okay, fine, cool, that's happened." And then when you start the game, there's another pop-up that says, "You've unlocked this." I'm like, "But why? Why didn't you just get it all out of the way in the menu like Capcom does?"
Yeah.
So I don't know. That was kind of weird, and a little disjointed for me when you're trying to get to the game.
It does take you out of it, right?
Yeah.
Like with something that is trying, it seems very hard to be this like almost play the movie type experience.
Yeah.
Anytime you pull the player out, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Right.
Speaking of which, with all of these cutscenes, why am I watching loading screens?
Oh man, what was it that we played something recently Eternal Strands, right? Eternal Strands did a good job of doing that. I mean, okay, this is a slightly older game, but at the same time, it's not something that's just come out over the last like 2 or 3 years. Of like someone like, I figured it out. I know how to hide cutscenes. I know how to loading screens behind a cutscene. It's like, no, you could do it. You could figure it out, guys.
Yeah, it's called what? Metal Gear Solid 4? Like that.
Yeah, although, yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of cutscene there at the beginning of the game, but that's because it's hiding all the loading. Like,
right. Oh,
so like,
That's disappointing. But you know what else is disappointing, Tom? This is a first-person game.
Uh-oh.
You cannot see your feet. I was like, at first, I was like, okay, maybe because he's a ghost, but he's not a ghost. He's still got his human body. He's still doing human things. You can still see him going to reach for things and pick up things. So why couldn't you give me the rest of my body? You see the rest of your body in the cutscenes, the 35 minutes of cuts. No, okay, it's not 35 minutes, but it's a lot of cutscenes, like you said. 10 minutes in the beginning, definitely. I clocked that as well. It was definitely 10 minutes. And then however many minutes in between that hour. It was crazy. It was crazy. And no feet messed up. You and the other part was you could hear the footsteps. You could hear the footsteps. So it's like, I can't win. I can't win here. So that's a thing. That's a shame. But there's another part about this game. I guess this was later in my playthrough where, it's doing things like supernatural and stuff like that, where you're in this particular area. Like I think essentially you're in like this apartment complex, and the ghosts or the spirits are messing with you. So like the apartments start to flip. It starts to like rotate and stuff like that. And that, oh my God, that whole section just made me want to vomit. Like, I don't know why. It just gave me a lot of motion sickness at that point. And I was like, good Lord. Okay. I don't know what it is. I don't know.
I called it out too. Like, yeah. Listen, you and I have been playing first person games, since we were children.
Yeah.
And I don't usually get motion sickness from playing a video game. That's not, I get motion sickness, but not from this. But in this game, like something to do with the controls, something to do with the way the character moved. It did feel disorienting where I started to go, oh, hey, wait a second. Like,
yeah, there was, I know there were certain games where you could change settings to help with that motion sickness. Yeah. I think it was also just like field of view or something. Yeah. And they didn't have that option. I was actually looking before I started playing, and no. And I think even during, I think literally while that was playing, I was like, I got to see if there's some way to stop this. And
but we used to play Unreal Tournament and stuff, and it's so fast, and you're moving around like crazy, and no problem, like zero problem playing really fast moving first person shooters. This game does not move that fast. Why is it so disorienting?
It's so weird. It is so weird. And then the other thing that is weird is there are specific items or specific food items that you can pick up, and everything else that's just scattered all over the town, you can't pick up. You can only pick up these certain things. And it just bothers me a little bit. And then just to also piggyback off of that, you've got all these really cool magic ghost powers. You can shoot things and blow things away here. And you are stopped by airport queue barriers. Like, that's what would stop someone with these kind of ghost powers, is an airport queue barrier. Like, that was just like, what is going on? I get it that you don't want to build your entire, building or the interior of whatever the facility is, but it's like, come on, you could do better. There's other things to do, but I don't know.
Just do the standard door you can't open, right?
Yeah. But even that also bothers me at times too.
It bothers me.
I've been going through Avowed, and there'll be doors I have all this power. You're telling me I cannot blow this door open with this? It makes no sense. Make it make sense. But frustrating. All right, I'm done with that. All right, what? Anything else you wanted to bring up here, Tom?
There's a portion of the game where you have to do hand signs or hand seals to unlock things.
Oh, yeah.
And trying to do that on the controller was not pleasant. I don't know. They were not doing what I wanted them to do. Where I had to do it 15 times to unlock the stupid door. Or whatever.
So this is funny because if you watch the intro of the game, where it's showing the credits of the studios and the little warnings and stuff like that, they mention the DualShock 4 controller specific, or DualShock 4 or 5, whatever this is, specifically. And I was like, wait, but I'm playing this on an Xbox, or I'm playing it on a Microsoft device or whatever. And so I was like, you know what? Let me plug it in. I plugged mine in, and you can use the little touchpad to do the signs. So it makes things a lot easier in that case for that particular situation. But then if you look at the menus, it do not translate to the PlayStation controller buttons. It's still the Xbox controller buttons. I mean, it's a nitpick. I'm being nitpicky here, but it is kind of
But considering the game was originally developed for the PlayStation, you would think.
Right. It came out for the PlayStation and PC at the same time. Like, come on, guys. Come on. What's going on here? You guys made Hi-Fi Rush. Come on. What's going on here? No, I'm just, okay. I'm a little bitter about that. All right. So, you got anything else?
I think it's time to start talking about our other thoughts. Chris.
All right. Other thoughts here. Well, how long to beat, as I kind of alluded here earlier, is between 11 and 20 hours. Not a very long game. Very easily done over a week, I'd say.
Yeah.
So
you chop that up and play it over X number of days.
Exactly. And this game does have Xbox Play Anywhere and cloud saves, and you can play it on xCloud. So you got all those options to play it. So good for them. They got that part right, though. What do you got, Tom?
Okay. So I learned that there's something called Spider's Thread, and that is a free content update. I like free content updates. We talked about it earlier. I think these creators previously made the Evil Within series. Okay. So that is why we see some of these horror elements, kind of mixed in.
Yeah.
The combat is inspired by something called Kujikiri, which is those hand signs, the Naruto hand signs. It was built on the Unreal Engine 4.
Okay.
We talked about the fact that it was launched as a PlayStation exclusive, even though the studio was acquired by Microsoft before that occurred. So kind of a weird thing there. As we sadly said, the studio was closed in May 2024. So sequel, who knows?
TBD. Yeah, what a shame. But there's some talented folks out there, and hope they land somewhere nice. All right, Tom. Well, we need to find out, are we keeping this game on our respective hard drives, or are we casting it out with all these other ghosts in Tokyo?
The exorcism of Tokyo?
Yes.
Well, okay. So despite the incredibly long preamble required for this game to begin, and the fact that you're kind of constantly interrupted, trying to play the game, I do think by the end of the hour, the game really found its footing and started to really gain momentum.
Yeah.
So I think I'd like to give it some more time to see where it goes, especially now that you've mentioned that it's not terribly long.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we talked about Eternal Strands. We talked about some other games that we recently played.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that this is going to win out versus those other ones. So I'd like to give it more time, but I'm not confident that I will.
Fair enough. Yeah, for me, this definitely seemed interesting enough. Like you said, the story, the world building, everything. It's got some legs to it. The mystery is intriguing. Like, what the heck is going on in Tokyo? Like, why is this mist just going around taking people out?
Yeah, stealing the bodies, leaving their clothes.
Yeah, just the bodies. It's like, okay, well, whatever.
Raptured.
Yeah, they definitely were raptured, and because of that, I was like, okay, I think I can keep going. I can keep going, and I think I can keep playing this and see what happened to all those people in Tokyo. Yeah. So yeah. That's it. And those are our thoughts. Let us know what you think of this game. Follow us to say hello on Twitter at TC1H1D and Blue Sky at 1H1D, on Threads at TC1H1D. I probably should have put that in a different order, but that's okay. Check out our next streams on Twitch at twitch.tv/1H1D. Maybe if you want, you can shoot us an email at tc1h1d@gmail.com. Hey, we put these out on YouTube as well. So if you want to put a comment down below and say what you miss most about Tango Gameworks, is it correct answer Hi-Fi Rush? That's okay too.
It's the only right answer if you want to win points with Chris.
Yes.
Consider the other option is Evil Within, and those are horror games.
Right. Too scary. Yeah. So that's that there. And 1H1D is part of the Q2E network. And if you like any great gaming content, please check it all out at quitthebill.com/network. Now, Tom,
Yes, Chris.
we need to see what potentially non-spooky game we'll be playing next.
Yes. I would like to be surprised.
We will be surprised by the surprise you button. So here we go. Okay. War Groove 2.
Sequel, I love it.
Why not? Why not? It's been a minute. It's been a minute since we played a sequel, hasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, we were due.
We were due. So that is what we're going to be talking about on our next episode. But that is it for this episode. So thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in, and we will catch you on the next one.
Thanks, everybody.